Well, it's a good evening from my side. Just finishing off with conjunctions, and what I thought we'd do is just look at a few different ways that they can actually go about asking conjunctions. And now we specifically talking about grades 10, 11, 12. You can always expect to see a conjunction question, and it's not always just the simple, most basic way, putting a conjunction in between two sentences or just starting with a conjunction. They do have a few small variations, but once you know those variations, it's quite easy. So let me show you 3 of those variations. Just remember, if you want all of them, they are in the books there, of course. The last section I'm talking about the purple one now, the purple book, Afrikaans Made Easy. In that last section of each chapter, you find those rules, those specific questions that they really like going to in tests and exams. Anyway, let's look at these 3. James gaan universiteit toe, want hy wil 'n dokter word. So they give you a sentence like that. James is going to university because he wants to be a doctor. And you'll spot the want there. So it's a sentence with want. Now they're saying, do not use want. In fact, don't even use want in the middle of the sentence. Don't use a conjunction in the middle of the sentence. Start with the conjunction. Start with omdat. So remember, as soon as you start with the conjunction, you forget about the groups. Doesn't really help you knowing that omdat is in group 3 now. Also doesn't really help you to know that want is in group 1. You want to think in terms of that pattern where you have your verb ones meeting in the middle like that. Verb 1, comma, verb 1 meeting in the middle. The only other exception was starting with al. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go back to that video starting with conjunctions, then you'll see that. Okay, so now let's sort out which order they would go in. Because he wants to be a doctor, James is going to university. Okay, so that will be your first sentence, and that will be your second sentence. If you don't know, just guess. There's a 50-50 chance of you getting right. Sometimes they can go both ways. Not always though. Okay. So omdat hy dokter now wil is moving, that's your verb 1 there. Let's just make it a different color. There's your other verb 1. That wil needs to move to the end of that sentence, but word is already there. So a verb can't jump a verb. So just pop it in front of the word, omdat hy 'n dokter wil word, comma, en nou gaan James universiteit toe. That's how it's going to look. There's your verb 1 in the middle. There's your other verb 1. Remember, vol couldn't move over the top of word. Verb cannot jump a verb. Sometimes you'll even have an infinitive there. You'll have an omte there as well. Just keep organized and do it step by step. Okay, so that's one way that they could ask it. Another way is like this. Hans speel vleuel, want hy kan vinnig hardloop. Hans plays wing because he can run fast. So now they start you like this. Hans speel vleuel aangesien. Okay, so what all they're doing is they're substituting want, which is group 1, for aangesien, which is group 3. So all you need to do is find your verb 1, there it is, move it to the end. It's a helping verb, so it's never going to go right to the end. It's going to bump onto your hardloop there, can't move over hardloop, and that's going to be your answer. Okay, Hans speel vleuel aangesien hy vinnig kan hardloop. From group 1 to group 3. Okay. Last example for now. See, the video is getting a bit long. Let's look at this one. James trek sy skoolklere aan, dan gaan hy skool toe. James puts on his school uniform, and then he goes to school. So now they start you with nadat. Now there's a trick to nadat and there's a trick to. These two conjunctions, they actually force the sentence into the past tense. They're the only two that can do that, and so they like going to that trick, especially if you're going to write the IB paper. They love it. They love using nadat and to. And remember, you only have to change one side of the sentence to past tense. You can leave the other side, or you can change both. It's up to you. Just check with your teacher what they actually prefer. It doesn't really matter. Nadat, so nadat means after. So you need to get your sequence right here. After he puts on his school clothes, he goes to school. It wouldn't make sense the other way around. Okay, so just be careful. And now you want your verbs to meet in the middle. Now, nadat, let's change that to the past tense. Now remember, your verb 1 is going to be het. So het is going to go to the end of that sentence. So nadat, so on and trek is going to join with a g in the middle. Nadat James sy skoolklere aangetrek het. Okay, there's your verb 1. Gaan hy skool. Let's leave the other side. Gaan hy skool toe. That's fine. If you wanted to change that other side, you just go het hy skool toe gegaan. That's also correct, I think. Just double check with your teacher. Sometimes these things are a bit controversial. There's your two verb 1s forced into the past tense. You've got your ge on your verbs. That's 100% fine. Remember, if you just have a helping verb, just flip the helping verb this side, flip the helping verb that side, and your two helping verbs will meet in the middle. Wil and kan or whatever. Or if it's is, just flip it to was and move it to the middle. The most important thing is that pattern that you get right. Okay. The answer for 2 will be exactly the same. To James sy skoolklere aangetrek het hy skool toe gegaan. Okay, but just note both of those things. That's my phone. Just both of those things will change the sentence into the past tense. Alright, so a bit trickier, but you can definitely expect these kind of questions for grade 11, grade 12. Sometimes if your teacher's mean, you might get it in grade 10. I pop them in sometimes just to keep the girls on their toes. Okay, for lots more exercises in the books, just have a look there, do the practice, and you will be fine, I promise that. Alright, I hope that helps. We'll move on to our next section now. It's late at night, so that's why I'm talking a bit softly. The kids are already in bed, so I don't want to wake them up. Alright, we'll chat soon. Okay.